During Anime Expo 2025, one of the cooler things that I was able to do was go behind closed doors to play an early demo of Varlet, the upcoming JRPG from Furyu. One interesting thing about the name Varlet is that the definition of it is historically a man or boy acting as an independent or servant, but the very old-fashioned of this word describes a dishonest or unprincipled man. Suffice it to say, I walked away intrigued by its unorthodox approach to personal growth, turn-based combat, and layered character systems.
Those kinds of
Developed
games.
by a team that includes talent from the games Crystar and Monarch, this game leans heavily into themes of identity and duality, building on familiar genre foundations without settling for convention. One of the more notable aspects of this is that it'll be the first self-published release from this team, which is a significant step for a Japanese developer. So, let's get into the preview.
You can tell by parts of it that it is like the animations are a little basic. Oh nice, he booted it on PC. It's coming to Switch. That looks like something that can run on Switch. Yeah, this just screams Persona. It just has like a different art style.
Varlet has some pretty unique systems to get the hang of before fully understanding what it's trying to do. The game puts player decision at the center of a personality test system. Every action, both in combat and daily life, influences the triad, which is the 6-axis chart tracking 3 light and 3 dark personality traits. However, I was able to confirm that the position on the axis doesn't just dictate the narrative tone, it also alters passive abilities, subtly reshaping how you play. I asked, but there is actually no easy way to reverse course once traits have begun shifting, without just trying to guess the opposite of the traits you're trying to correct. Unlike other games that might let players backpedal or rewrite personality outcomes, Varlet commits to the consequences. If you want to see a different result, you'll have to act differently and trust the system to reflect it. The idea here is less about moral correctness and more about self-awareness, which may resonate with younger players discovering more about their playstyle and character preferences.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
The story of Varlet.
I don't like the whole like freaking like, you know, oh, you're either like some sort of really goody two-shoes Mary Sue, or you're some sort of evil, like psychotic, like you have literally like a broken brain, you have some sort of mental disorder, and you have no empathy, and you're just there to like, you know, murder everybody and whatever. It's like either it's two extremes, and real life is not like that. Real life is complicated and nuanced. So I like it when games mimic real life more than having these like cartoon level morality for like second grader shit for 7-year-olds. Like that's just...
Follows a student working for SSS, or the Student Support Services, who patrols the campus each day, completes anomaly scans, and handles side quests before checking in and advancing the clock. In practice, it's a pretty straightforward loop, but one that invites players to either move at their own pace or min-max through repeatable tasks. This daily structure brings to mind the pacing of games like Persona, and while Varlet certainly takes cues from that series, its design roots actually stretch back to a series that doesn't quickly come to mind. The team pointed at a game called Gun Parade March, which is actually a more direct influence for this title, specifically its blend of school life military themes and emotional introspection. While Persona might be the popular comparison, fans of Gun Parade March will likely spot the deeper DNA, as we're told. Outside of the school life, Varlet does have some unconventional dungeons.
I wonder if that game came to the United States.
Instead of traveling to the outskirts of the town, players dive into these things called glitches. These dungeons are short-lived rifts in the real world that offer puzzles and battles. Each party member then belongs to something called a tribe, which is essentially a class archetype within its own style. These roles actually matter, especially during boss fights where unique companion abilities, like Trions that can stun enemies, add tactical weight to the overall flow of the battle. Combat itself sticks to traditional turn-based systems, which was explained to us that it's a deliberate decision by the developers, while early discussions entertained action gameplay or...
I'm not one of those people that has an issue with like turn-based. I was one of those people. I fucking hated turn-based games. I thought they were stupid and I thought they were nonsensical. I was also the freaking like kid. I was the style of kid that like didn't like musical, like you know, like when you're watching like a Disney movie and they just start randomly singing and there's this whole singing section, you know, like I always thought that was so stupid. Like as a little kid, I was just like, this is the stupidest shit I ever seen. It's like you have Tarzan or something, and it's like Tarzan is there with like Jane or whatever, and then all of a sudden the bad guys show up with guns. And the first thing Tarzan does is he goes, "We should run." And then Jane goes, "Yes, we should." And then Jane starts fucking singing and dancing as she slowly makes her way away from the bad guys by singing and dancing. It's the stupidest fucking thing. To me, as a kid, I didn't understand it. I was like, why are you doing this? This isn't even big. This is breaking the pacing. Like, it makes it seem like all of this is a joke, you know? You're just singing and dancing while the bad guys with guns are right there ready to shoot you. Like, what the flip? And that's exactly how I felt about turn-based, where I looked at turn-based games and you have three dudes on a line or whatever, and you know the dudes just stand there and the bad guys stand on the other side, you know, they just stand here, and like everybody just waits for their turn. And then the stupidest thing for me was your main character will go, okay, it's my turn, attack, and then he'll walk over to the bad guy, smack him with his sword, and then walk back to the same spot where he was before. And it's like, what? Why would you walk away? Why you just turn around and show your back to the bad guy? You know, like it just didn't make any sense. Like, why is he just walking right back? If you're enjoying this video and you like to see bigger and better content, the only thing you need to do is hit subscribe and like, and I'll take care of the rest. So I always thought to myself, if I make a game, a turn-based game, I would make it more like it's like you slowing down time. And so like the main character would like walk over to the guy, right? And then he'll slash him, and then or like punch him. And then the other guy will then react and punch back. And like they don't walk away. They just stand there in between as they're punching, and you'll play out this battle turn by turn in a realistic manner. It's just like you're just slowing down time. That's how I would have made my game. But yeah, I guess, I don't know, people that were making JRPGs, they like their guy walking up to a guy and then immediately walking right back to where he was while he gently waits for his turn. It's just fucking weird, man. But I got used to it. The game that I think that broke me out of it, what was the game that broke me out of it? I think it may have been Final Fantasy X on the PlayStation 2. But I am not entirely sure. I'm trying to remember. I think it actually wasn't. I know the game that broke me out of it. It's a GameCube game. Oh man, what was that game called? It was a GameCube and Dreamcast game. I want to find this out. Okay, so hold on here. Dreamcast RPG. Boy with, he had like a fist thing. He had like a fist. I think he had like red hair. Maybe we can like, okay, let me see the images. Which one? Is not Skies of Arcadia. It's this one. Found it. It's Evolution. Evolution, the World of Sacred Device. That's, I played that on GameCube, and it was a game that a friend of mine had, and so I took it more seriously because he had it. Let me see how the cover looks on GameCube, because I'm pretty sure the cover on GameCube was not drawn like this. It was like 3D. Evolution, GameCube. And I just kind of, there we go. This is it right here. That's it. Evolution Worlds. That's what it was. Man, now I feel like playing this game. Just for like, it's an Ubisoft game. Just for like the memories. And this game, I played this game. I liked the relationship he had with the girl, because I was, you know, like, hey, you know, I wish I had a cute girl that I ran around with. And you know, obviously it had typical JRPG trappings where like you level up your weapons or whatever. I don't remember exactly, but you level up and you can grind and farm. And at first I thought that the turn-based combat was stupid, but I just, for some reason in this game, at some point it clicked, and I thought to myself, I want to get stronger. So I'm just gonna go and like, you know, farm and shit and get better and like beat this monster thing in this dungeon. And that's the game that did it. It was just the right time, right place. Then I played Final Fantasy X after this, and Final Fantasy X was really good. This story of this, well, I also found the story interesting, but I don't know, man. I was like fucking 9 years old or some shit. I don't, I don't know that it's actually, it holds up.
Even using the tactical systems from Monarch, the team landed on turn-based mechanics to create space for communication and reflection.
I'm really
which
happy
in
I
this
found the
game
game
are the
really
pillars
fast,
of the
too. I
narrative.
thought it was gonna
Even
take a
so,
long
boss
time for me to
encounters
find
come
it
with added
online.
layers to keep the
Just showed up
experience feeling
immediately.
far too passive. Though
what a
Varlet
time
shares
to be
some
alive.
static threads with Monarch, players won't need to play the game to understand this new world. The vivid colors and white accented character designs may look familiar, but the story and systems are standalone. While we didn't get to experience it through our demo, there are also some dark side characters that appear
like the
based
2D
on
art.
player routes,
It looks
reinforcing the
good.
game's core identity themes. I mentioned this in the beginning, but Varlet also marks a new direction for this developer, Furyu. This is the publisher's first worldwide simultaneous release, complete with
great.
a post-launch
We love
season
to see
pass
it.
that has been confirmed to us, so we're excited to see what comes in that.
And this used to be something that happened all the time, where a game would come out, and the game would come out in Japan first, and then you would have to wait for the American version to come out like a year or two later. And then by the time that you get the American version, like, and by the way, the European version might not even have launched at all yet. Like the European version might come in like a year after the American version for some reason. Sometimes it was flipped. And by the time that you get the American version of the game, the sequel has already come out in Japan, and you're just thinking about the sequel, right? And you're like, oh man, the sequel looks so cool. You see it in magazines and whatever. It's like, oh wow, like it looks fucking like it looks way better than the original. And now you're gonna have to wait like 2 years for it to come to the States. Those times fucking sucked. And that shit even happened for Nintendo games. It happened for like Sony games. It happened for a bunch of shit. It wasn't until the PS3 era that we started getting more simultaneous releases. But even back then, it still wasn't every game. And in the PS4 era, that's when really we started getting all the games kind of coming out simultaneously. It's just a matter of like, does the developer have the money, especially if they're self-publishing, to be able to get the game out simultaneously or not? And yeah, it looks like these guys do, so I'm really happy for them. It's a big milestone.
Still, whether this title lives up
Hope
to
this
the
game's on
layered
Steam.
ambitions remains to
It
be
should be.
seen, but from our early experience, Varlet is shaping up to be a stylish and introspective JRPG,
And the
and
2D
not in
art
the way
looks
that
good, man.
sacrifices depth for aesthetics. Varlet is currently in development for PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Nintendo
So wait,
Switch,
what
and
does he say there?
PC. Stylish and introspective JRPG, and not in the way that sacrifices depth for aesthetics.
Oh, thank
Varlet
God.
is
Yeah, I
currently in
like that.
development for PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Nintendo Switch, and PC, with the release date planned for
No
August
Xbox.
27th, 2025. Now, enjoy some gameplay.
Okay, yeah. So this looks super cool. And you could tell that this is like an early game for these guys. I don't know how long they've been making games for, like, I guess it's game of this scale. It's not like on the level of like Persona 5 or Persona 3 Reload. But these guys are working their way up there. And I really like the 2D art. It looks really nice. And the characters look nice. Yeah, it looks cool, man. So I will probably be checking this out at some point in my life. I don't know why. But I'll be checking out the PC version. I hope the PC version doesn't have I hope it doesn't have what do you call it? Like the freaking stutters, that traversal stutters, or shader compilation issues. I don't know what this is being made on. Is this Unreal Engine, or is this like custom, or is it Unity? I don't know. But the game is great, and I hope the story's good. I hope the game's freaking good, because I want to see more games like this. Yeah, an ambitious, stylish, identity-driven game that channels Persona vibes. Very, very cool.
Subscribe and like!